Alrighty. Good evening once again. We are back. We do have another tornado warning for Butler County. This time, uh, only Butler County at the moment. That looks like part of Southern Preble as well. So, right now, our rotation is south of Oxford, west of Hamilton, moving northeast. Our storm still moving about 30 mile an hour as they have pretty much all night. A pretty tight circulation. Right about there. The storm has really tried to get itself together and finally succeeded. It looked pretty interesting coming through Franklin County, Indiana. Once it kind of hit the Ohio border, it really got itself together. Latest scan there puts the rotation just about crossing. It looks like 732 near, looks like the town of Riley, which is right there. So again, moving northeast at about 30 mile an hour. We'll go ahead and check our debris tracker. Not seeing anything. Good news. I will stress for this a particular stream. If you are not in the tornado warning, we likely will not touch on your area much. We are watching this area still kind of northwest of Piqua a little bit, but for now, that is heavy rain, lightning, and thunder. Our main focus will be on our tornado warned storm down here in Butler and part of Preble County. So right now, this will slowly drift up towards the Oxford area. It'll probably stay west of 7 Mile, obviously about over top of Riley right now. Dartown, Somerville, Jacksonburg, McGonigal, St. Charles, and Collinsville are all included in our tornado warning here. So again, this is about right over the town of Riley. Still not seeing anything on our debris tracker, but the rotation is definitely still there, crossing 732 at the moment. Pulling up a couple other things because I closed them. But for now, we still have no confirmation that there is a tornado on the ground. Now, this is all radar indicated, as everything has been so far this evening. The storm continues to track off to the northeast. Now we've got the latest scan. We'll put a little bit better track on there for you. We'll go about right here, and it is moving still about 25 mile an hour. Almost moving borderline straight north. We'll drag it out to about 30. So right now, Somerville, Camden, eventually Eaton, West Alexandria, and Lewisburg within the next hour or so. Oxford, though, you are close enough. I would definitely be paying attention to this. If it slides directly north, it's coming right at you. Otherwise, it'll be kind of the southeast portion of town as it does slide in general to the northeast. But again, Somerville, Camden, Eaton, West Alexandria, and Lewisburg within the next hour or so. Rotation continues to look fairly strong. It is one of the better signatures we've seen this evening. If we loop this over the last little bit, we've seen it went from nothing as it crossed into Ohio and then really tightened up pretty quick there. and it remains evident on radar, but still not seeing any signs of debris, which is good. Looking at just a couple other things here real quick. Yeah, definitely some good turning of the winds in there. But no sign of debris. And we'll see how long this holds together. What we've seen this evening is storms, they spin up pretty quick. They they have a little bit of rotation for most of their life cycle, just the nature of the atmosphere this evening. But they do have a tendency to kind of wrap up a little bit more and then kind of fall apart, wrap up a little bit, fall apart, and then just kind of continue that cycle for the duration of their existence, really. We haven't, so far in our area, as far as I know, we have not had any damage. We haven't had any confirmation that anything has touched down with this storm or the storms we had earlier, so that's good news. For now, this is our only warning across the area. For the most part, at the moment, everywhere else is just pretty heavy rain, probably some lightning, thunder, and some gusty winds. But still watching this area, still in between Piqua and Sydney as well. But right now our focus is on our tornado warning here south of Oxford in Butler County. As far as folks asking about their area, again, at the moment, if you are not in the tornado warning, you're good. This is the only storm out there that is of any concern at the moment. The only storm that we really need to be paying attention to. The rest of the area, you're either getting heavy rain, lightning, and thunder, or you're dry and kind of getting nothing. The entire system continues to push northeast, so at some point, you'll likely get into some rain and lightning and thunder and stuff at some point tonight. The chance of severe weather, again, is low, but it's not zero, as we see. These storms are capable of spinning up, but there's a good chance they'll spin up and then die fairly quickly, especially now that we have lost the daytime heating. So Caitlin Hall, looks like you said you're in the town of Oxford right now. The rotation, it's becoming more disorganized, but it's just southeast of town, so it crossed over Riley, would have been much closer to there. It's southeast of town, kind of moving to the northeast. So if you're in Oxford, be sheltered. This may pass southeast of you, but you do want to be sheltered. We'll give this another scan and then we'll put another track on it. The rotation definitely looks like it's starting to fall apart already, which is good news. Tornado warning goes until 11:30, again for Butler and part of Preble County. Some more heavy rain and likely some wind moving into areas that have already had about 2 rounds this evening. So that's our eastern Indiana counties, so Connorsville, Brookville, down to Versailles. Again, the rest of the area is pretty much heavy rain or you're dry. We do see a few storms that have popped up out here in eastern Ohio. Nothing too concerning with those yet, but of course, we are here and we are keeping an eye on them. We're going to jump back down to our tornado warning here. Take a look at velocity again. Still looks fairly messy. Definitely not as well organized as it was, but we will go ahead and get another track. We'll go right about here. And it does look like, I don't know that it's moving 45 mile an hour. We're going to keep it 30. Moving northeast. So still Somerville, Gratis, West Alexandria, and eventually New Lebanon and Brookville if it were to hold together. But I will say each passing scan, it does start to look more and more unorganized. So it got pretty wound up there for a minute, but it looks like it is struggling to maintain that, which is good news. So this is again near Oxford. So Oxford, Somerville. You've got Dartown, Collinsville. Those areas under the gun right now. But again, it does look like it's falling apart. We can see they've already trimmed part of the tornado warning. We still have just radar indicated rotations, so that's good. That means we still haven't seen anything actually touch down that we know of. Of course, it's dark, so it's a little bit harder to tell, but we do have our debris tracker that will kind of give us an idea if anything, trees or anything like that got lofted into the air, and we're not seeing any of that. So does look like we haven't seen anything touch down, and the storm is continuing to weaken a little bit. Monroe, no issues in Monroe. So they had some heavy rain earlier, but they are good to go. They'll get into some of this heavier rain here after a while, but for now, Monroe is good to go. We'll zoom out and we'll put this into motion here so you can see kind of what direction things are going. They're moving northeast, so almost borderline straight north, but they do have a little bit of an easterly component to them. And nothing is moving pretty fast. Everything has been moving about 30 mile an hour or so this evening. So it is heading kind of in the general direction of Brookville, Ohio, but it'll be a little bit before it gets there, about an hour or so. And that's assuming it doesn't fall apart before then, which it looks like it is still kind of taking a downward trend. Maybe a little bit of better defined rotation here, northeast of 27, but at the moment, still nothing super concerning. Still have this area up here, near Sydney, but that looks more like a little bit of a stronger wind than anything else. But that's also pretty far up in the atmosphere, so most of that probably not reaching the ground. Dark County, this is pretty well south of you. You're, for the moment, in the clear. Just some heavy rain, probably lightning and thunder. Not seeing any signs of rotation with anything up there. Indian Lake, you're going to likely get into some heavy rain, probably a little bit of lightning and thunder at some point, but not seeing anything imminent that looks like it's going to cause too many problems there. So other than likely some rain and lightning and thunder, you're okay for now. I do want to go ahead and again pull up the Storm Prediction Center Outlook. So this goes through tomorrow morning. If you are in this dark green area, that is the area where there is a low but not zero chance of thunderstorms overnight, damaging wind, isolated tornadoes. Again, it's a low threat but not a zero threat. So if you do go to bed, make sure you have a way to get warnings that it's going to wake you up in case you do find yourself under a tornado warning. Let's take a look at our warning again, and still much of the same. It's pretty unorganized at the moment. It's trying to kind of wrap itself up, but it's having a hard time in what looks like it might happen sooner rather than later. This line behind it is going to catch up. But it looks like this line is moving a little bit faster than the individual storm here. So this line at some point may catch up to this and potentially put an end to the tornado threat with that specific storm. Looking for any damage reports or anything that's come into the National Weather Service. Not seeing anything, so that's good. Miamisburg, other than probably a little bit of rain, you're doing okay for now. You'll have to deal with some of these storms as they do move through, but nothing imminent at the moment. Same thing for you, Auglaize County. Heavy rain going on at the moment, but nothing severe right now. This warning in Butler and Preble County. This is the only warning we have. So everywhere else is just some rain, lightning, thunder, but nothing severe, nothing to be concerned about. This channel will be live on and off overnight. I see somebody ask as we get any tornado warnings or anything where we need to jump in. We do have a team ready to go, to keep the overnight folks updated as well. Or if you wake up and are concerned, you want to check it out. If there's a warning, somebody will be here covering that. So going back into our tornado warning. Taking a look at velocity, it looks still pretty messy. Like it's really starting to fall apart. So our tornado warning is active until 11:30, so another 6 minutes. Based on what I see here, I don't know that they would continue it. It looks like at this point, just a lot of heavy rain between about Oxford, Somerville, eventually up to Camden and Gratis. As the storm continues to slowly drift north, about 30 mile an hour or so. And then again, this line behind it is going to eventually catch up. But for now, the storm's still looking like it's struggling to really get itself together. So we'll see for the next 5 minutes or so if it's able to ramp back up or if it continues its downward trend. So again, we'll take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook. This dark green area, if you're in the dark green, your chance of severe weather is still low, but it's not zero. And the reason, the remnants of Hurricane Beryl are still just kind of moving across the country. It adds a little bit of inherent spin to the atmosphere. So any storms that are able to develop just have a little bit of spin on their own. The biggest question has been, can any of that reach the surface and cross southern and western Indiana earlier today? We saw some fairly large tornadoes that were able to touch down. A lot better shear and instability over there, though. Now that it's dark, we have no instability or no really fuel for storms at this point. But we do still have some shear provided by the inherent spin of the remnants of Beryl as they approach. So that's really pretty much what is driving all of this. And it does look like the National Weather Service is going to elect to let this warning expire. So this tornado warning here for Butler and Preble County will be allowed to expire, so it will drop off the screen in a couple minutes. We'll hit some other areas, take a look around, and see what we see. Likely some gusty winds. Please give me my radar back. There we go. Likely some gusty winds about to come into Connorsville, Brookville, eventually likely up into the Cambridge City and Richmond area. As far as Western Ohio goes, of course, we have our storm down here moving into Preble County. We'll move up into the Camden area. Dayton, right now, just some light rain. Eventually, all of this will work its way in your direction. Piqua up to Sydney, Kettlersville, and up to Wapak. For the most part, maybe some gusty winds still in the Sydney area. For the most part, heavy rain, a little bit of wind, lightning, and thunder. The good news is, for all the farmers out there, hail has been borderline non-existent today, which is great for the crops and whatnot. Switch to a different product real quick. So you can see a lot of rain in Indiana. From rain heading north into northern Ohio. A few storms developing out here in south central and eastern Ohio. So of course we'll keep an eye on those. And then we have kind of our heavier, stronger storms moving into eastern Indiana and southwest Ohio. Again, this tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire here in just a couple minutes. So it will go away. The rotation that the storm did have is pretty much completely gone at this point. So it does not look like that storm poses much of a threat anymore at this point. So again, if you are in the green, dark green right here, so Cleveland, Mansfield, Columbus, Chillicothe, Springfield, Dayton, up to Findlay, Lima, Wapakoneta, Bellefontaine, Salina. If you're in the dark green, your chance of severe weather, again, is low, but it's not zero. So when you go to bed, make sure you have a way to get warnings that's going to wake you up, just in case you do find yourself under a warning at some point this evening. Of course, we'll have more live coverage if more warnings are issued or we need to jump in for anything. But for now, real quick, the rotation near Sydney, it's not so much rotation as it is just strong winds, I believe. So I don't think there's too much to worry about there. It looks more just like a pocket of decently strong winds. So there's a good chance those winds may not be making it fully to the ground. So at the moment, not too much to worry about there. So so there you go. Our tornado warning is gone. So with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap this particular stream up. Again, if you're going to bed, you're in this dark green area, have a way to get warnings. Most of you probably won't even get a storm, but better safe than sorry. Hopefully, if you need rain, you get some rain. We'll be here through the night in case any more warnings pop up. For now, meteorologist Zach Battin with the Bell Park Weather Network. Hope you all have a